Iovai Sylvestia. I have a lot of things to talk about, and it's going to take a little bit to talk about it, but not everything will be discussed here because I have a lot of things that I want to discuss in February that most of it is pretty sensitive, and I'd rather not mention it now because it would get in the way of a lot of plans of mine. So we'll just get right into it and hope for the best in 2020. So to start it all off, I still can't believe we're here, still in this decade, finishing it off. It might not be at our strongest point, but we've definitely gone as far as we could with this group to the point where it's like there's not much we can do besides just reviving it and just doing more stuff, making games and a new generation to come. But, it has been all hunky dory for us, and there's a lot of reasons as to why. But before I get into this gruesome, horrible year that was 2019, I want to talk about the decade as a whole. February 21st, 2012. That's when this group was made. It was made by yours truly, and ever since then, it's defied what groups really could be capable of, because we were doubted and we were underestimated so much, to the point where at one point we did become the number one in the entire clan world in 2014. 2014 was our shining year. It was the year that everybody found out about us. Everybody knew who we were because we were all over the place. Our activity was insane, and it was phenomenal for us. That was like a genuine golden year. There's a lot of things to talk about for 2014, but before I do that, I want to discuss about 2012 and 2013, because as much as I'm proud of 2014, I got to discuss about the beginnings and what we call the dark ages and then the golden ages. So, without further ado, this is the review and decade of Sylvestia. So 2012, when I first started the group, I didn't know what the plan was, honestly. I didn't know where I would go with the group all the way back then. Like, it was just a group that was made because I had a really big guild in a game called Pwned Encrypt, and I would be inviting people at the mass. So many people would be joining, and it became so big to the point where I was just like, oh shit, let me just create a group out of this, because it was called the Dark Warriors, and it didn't have a period and it didn't have an exclamation point. It was just the Dark Warriors, and I just it became so huge. Every server I joined in Pwned Encrypt, and keep in mind it was a very popular game back then. Every server had our guild, so I was like, fuck it, I need to make a group out of this, and I did. I made a group, and I brought all those guild members there. Then we started having our own events and meetings and discussions. We at first it started off with gatherings in Pwned Encrypt. We played together. Then as the game, slowly started dying and we started moving away, it was more of like we were trying to figure out, well, now what do we do? We have all these people in the group, so what are we going to do now? And we started doing our own meetings and our own trainings, and, trainings at the time, we had some very fucky swords. This was interesting to say the least. Not much I can remember in terms of how development went in 2012 up until a guy named Roblox Riot 9000 came in. Jason, he came in and changed the whole game for us in development. And he made us some wacky ass swords and weapons. He made a crossbow that shot out swords. He made these huge weapons. There's a map at Legacy called 2012. A bunch of the hats and weapons that he made were there, that you can still go by loading 2012 and Legacy and trying all of them out. And I'm still grateful for all the things he did for us, because he built Volcran, he built Rose Funeral, he built I think a few Calibrix, and he built several other places as well. But those three were the biggest ones in mind, and those were like huge in 2012 for us, because we're just like, holy shit, these are amazing, and we used them, and we always referred to them ever since as memorials now. But they were huge to us back then. Volcran was our primary outpost, but Rose Funeral is where we used like the base for, like, I guess raids. I don't even know what the purpose of that one was. I think that one was more like a gathering slash hangout place, until we started using it as a kind of a fort, but not really. Yeah, I don't know. Volcran was like the first place that actually had vehicles. I'm pretty sure, like actual vehicles. We had jets, and I think we had tanks, but the tanks weren't exactly usable. So we had jets, and we could fly those around, blow people up. And I remember this because I think it was TDW and EAC working together in I think 2013 to fight urban stormtroopers, which was this huge powerhouse group at the time. TW was just still freshly becoming active, so we teamed up with EAC to battle these guys, and we were at Fort Volcran, and we used we used the ships to blow them up, and it was really funny because they got so mad, and then we raided them afterwards, and they're like, "Ha, you can't beat us," and then we beat them, and it's just like it's just funny shit like that happened all the time, but less of that. 2012 was like the foundation year. Obviously, we're trying to figure out what was going on with the group. What are we gonna do? And I guess we moved in and settled on how we're gonna do things with the group because that's when we were like, oh, let's move towards becoming a war group. Let's do things that war groups do. And then part of this influence I think came from Ghostmen because Ghostmen was my first group and first war group actually. So a lot of the influence of how leadership worked in Roblox groups came from that because it's like, oh, I see how this works. It's pretty easy to understand. But after I got betrayed by the leader because I was gaining so much popularity in his group, I was kicked out of it. And ironically enough, it was Pop, as many of them know him, Pop 688, or at the time he was Pop 689. He was the one who introduced me to groups, actually. He introduced me to Ghostmen. And he wasn't like the one who got me kicked out of Ghostmen. No, it was Tyrell, the leader, who got me kicked out. And it was just like, wow, you did all that work for the group, and then just because you were getting popular with the people, the leader was like, nope, you're out. And Pop didn't say anything at the time because he didn't want to piss off Tyrell, which kind of hurt a lot back then because it was like, okay, well, shit, now I don't know what to do because my best friend at the time wasn't stepping in for me, even though I became friends with him because we played Dragon Ball Sparking Meteor. I saw this one guy getting bullied by like two, three other people, and that guy that was getting bullied by them or bothered by them, it was Pop. And I stepped in, and I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing with this guy? I leave him alone." And they're acting like pricks, and then me and Pop decided unanimously, like, okay, let's just beat the shit out of him instead. And yeah, me and Pop teamed up and we beat them up, and then they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go tell our superiors in this Dragon Ball clan." I'm like, "What the fuck? All right, go ahead." And then me and Pop were just like, just just introducing to each other, like, "Oh, hey man, thanks for coming in there and sticking out for me." And then we became best friends, and eventually he like a while after that he invited me to Ghostmen, and into Ghostmen, that's where the groups really started off. But it was after I got kicked out of Ghostmen where I was like, didn't know what to do. And then it came Pwned and Crypt and the guild, the creation of the group. And then we're just like, well, we have the group now. We're hosting events. 2012 was like kind of figuring out what the hell we're doing with this group and where would we go from there. And that's when people like Swagger TJ7, aka Flurcium, came in. Shortly after that, that's where Montrulio, aka Rossum, came in. I'm still fucking with that name. And there's a bunch of other people that came in, like Roblox Riot, of course. Can't forget him. And oh my god, Artisan. And oh my god, there's so many people I could remember, but it's so hard because you're put on the spot to do it. If I don't remember all the names, I'm sorry. But those are like some big ones that came to mind right off the bat. But oh yeah, Corey. I remember Corey. LSEGT. Yeah, I could go on. I could go on, but I don't want to make the whole video about that. I could do that in like a future or something. Anyways, yeah, 2012 was the foundation year, really figuring out what the hell we're doing with the group. And that was also around the time we started like actually forming raids. But it wasn't like raids. We were like raiding recruitment centers to really get ourselves out there kind of thing, getting people's attention. And we raided the VOC or Vectovia recruitment center a lot, like a lot, to the point where it kind of pissed off the Vactovians, and then they came beefing with us in 2013. And so, speaking of 2013, I guess it's time to go into that year because 2012 must be like a foundation year. I don't want to bore you guys about all of that. I think we have a history document that kind of talks about what happened there. But 2013, that's the year I really want to talk about because it's basically like 2019, but I think a little bit worse. I think they're both like on par with each other. Like they both 2013 2019 weigh each other a lot for how shitty they both are. So, excuse me. All right. If anyone was still watching that up until this point, enjoy my burp. Anyways. And my yawn. Don't mind me. I'm fucking finished a long ass workout. Came over here, had some tacos, and recording this. So, yeah. Anyways. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Talking about tacos, and then went to 2013. So, 2013, the year of the Dark Ages, as many people call it. It wasn't all too dark, but yeah, no, fuck it, it was dark. I'll explain why. 2013 was the year TDW was actually starting to like form an identity, like who are we kind of thing, and we started like becoming way more as a military group. Started actually building bases and training centers, and really like getting a whole dynamic and structure going. And a lot of like influential figures came in and really helped us build this group. And I'm very grateful for a lot of them to come in and do that. I mean, there was some times where it really fucked us up, but the reason why 2013 was one of the worst, if not still probably the worst year of TW, was because of several reasons. One, it was the year we were trying to figure out our identity, and it was the time where we didn't even have uniforms. It was before the custom color uniforms were made, those trench ones that you guys all know and love. It was before that, and it was before we had the Sylvestian identity. It was before we had anything, really. We had pretty shitty places, to be honest. And, well, I mean, kind of shitty, but like not shitty shitty. They were pretty good, but then, Flursium came in and helped with like some things after, but at the time they were pretty shitty. So, that kind of rhymed. Pretty shitty. Anyways. Uh, oh, I'm tired. Can't be tired. It's New Year's. I'm spending my time doing this video. Well, I mean, I kind of enjoy doing this video. It's a walk back memory lane. I just wish it was under better circumstances. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Even though I'm not really a beggar, so I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. Okay, back to the point. 2013. Oh boy. That was the year where all of us unanimously as a group, well, not unanimously, XA Artisan was the one who suggested that we should exile like 4,000 something all of the 4,000 inactives that we had, and keep like the several hundred super actives people that we had, and turn into like this, like, I guess an elitist group kind of thing, or like a super active elite group. And newsflash, didn't work. It did not work. So it took ages for them to convince me to actually want to go through with this exile plan. And we exiled all the inactives. And then for the first week, the group was like stupid active. And then it started dying. The group started dying. And it was actually the closest TW has ever really been to like total death. Like actual death. Like abandonment kind of death. Because once it hit rock bottom and people lost all, like, we're losing all hope with the group, because it's like, shit, we just lost our entire real member base, and all the people are starting to leave because it's like, oh well, the group's not big anymore, and the activity is starting to slow down now. And the name, like, back then being huge was a big deal as a group. Like being a super clan was a really big deal because that gained so much attention. Back then elite clans weren't even like a consideration, honestly, besides like a few select ones, but most of them just weren't like as popular as they are today. So it was a pretty bad move on our part, but in hindsight, can't say much. It's been like 5 fucking years or something, 6 years. I don't know, 7? Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7 years. 2013, 2020, 6, 7 years. uh, God, Jesus. I regret doing that exile. I do, because we would be at least 15,000 members right now if we didn't do that. But other than that, no, I regret it because after the group died, we decided, what if we just, put TW to rest and jump to Vengeance, and we made this group called Vengeance as like, to like get revenge, for the group dying and go out and fucking deliver vengeance to the world or some shit. And we were going out and Vengeance became like a really nice superpower group. Like it was an actual elite group and it was doing great. Like it didn't die at all. The only reason we stopped with it is because we really missed TW. So after like a few weeks of using Vengeance, we were dominating in raids. I still have all the screenshots of when we were with Vengeance. And I remember I still have the places for it and the uniforms. And I still have the group. I put it under Leuno. I put under Leuno's ownership. And yeah, it's still there. That's a piece of history you can never wipe, but it was a good one because all the TW members just went there, so it was basically TW 2.0, just rebranded to be more edgy. How do you get more edgy after making a group called the Dark Warriors? I don't know. Ask Vengeance. Anyways, just shitting on my own groups. That's like a meta. That is gonna be a meta. Anyways, going into 2013 with the group, and then from Vengeance, we really missed TW, and I was like, oh, what if I make another group? And I think I made like the United Imperium or something, TUI or TIU, I don't know, fucking, it was something United and something Imperium, and I know it was at least United. I'm pretty sure I still have ownership of that group, and if I could go look for it, I could probably remember what it was. And oh my god, how many times am I gonna yawn? Oh god. Fuck. All right. No, I'm not going to edit any of this out. You're going to have to listen to all my yawns and possible burps because I'm too lazy to edit all this out, and this is going to be raw, straight from no unscripted bullshit.
What are you doing?
Oh.
Are you recording? All right, then. Never mind then.
But yeah, I wanted to go into what 2013 was about, and with 2013, I wanted to discuss the things that came with after TIU or TUI and the United Imperium. That didn't last at all. That didn't last a day because after Vengeance, we were just like, we were sick of moving groups around. And we were sick. We were sick of, hold on. There we go. We were sick of, sorry, that was a friend of mine who wanted to grab my phone real quick. Anyways, oh yeah, I'm just recording a video talking about the decade of TW, or the group.
Oh, okay, that's good. So
yeah, that's why. No, it's all, you're all good. Anyways, but yeah, with 2013, as I was going back into it, actually, what are you doing with my phone?
I thought you were recording. Oh, well, you can edit, can't you?
I mean, I can edit it, but it's like I'm probably just gonna keep it in. Fuck it, they'll have to listen.
Cut it out, but I mean, I'm not gonna tell them this. Like, yeah, same. Wanna go there? Wanna do that?
Oh yeah, I can do that after.
After? What's after? How long you gonna take?
Not too long. It won't take that long.
Fucking better. What you gotta know? Ooh,
oh yeah, my friend's name is Aaron. Tell him he's a bitch. Anyways.
Fuck you. Roblox nerd. God damn. Get a real job, hippie. Work at McDonald's. That's what gamers are.
All right.
Hey, you better not mess with me. You may have Roblox, but I've Monster and Wizards 101, okay?
Wizards 101. All right, got it.
You know me. See me on Club Penguin sleds, okay?
Dude, 1v1 me Club Penguin sleds. You fucking suck.
You don't even talk to me.
Dude, I had that membership in Club Penguin.
Don't even say nothing to me, boy. I bet you don't even have. You bet you didn't even feed your puffle. Do you know me?
No, I had like 3 puffles.
Here. Listen.
I think mine was black.
Listen the hell here. You gotta know. Do you know? I am an EPF agent. I have saved so many puffles. Don't come at me.
Dude, were you a pizza master? I don't think you were a pizza master.
Dude,
I was flipping those sardine pizzas for like ages.
You can call my mom gay and my dad straight. How dare diss my pizza skills? God.
Pizza this pie, bitch.
Shut up. Finish your recording.
I will.
Oof.
Oof you. All right.
All right, you got 20 minutes.
All right, cool. I got 20 minutes.
Go.
I'll make it quick. All right.
Dickhead.
All right. Anyways, back to 2013. After the United Imperium. By the way, I apologize for that, and I'm keeping all that in. So, Anyways, the United Imperium. Oh my god, that group. Yeah, no, that didn't last at all. That was an idea. I was like, oh, what if I move groups again? Because I don't know, for some fucking reason I wanted to move again. Then I was like, you know what, fuck it. No, what do we do? I was like, do you want to move back to TW or not? And I think I made a video where I was like, it's up to you to vote. Do you want to go back to TW or Vengeance? And then everyone was obviously like TW, and then we went back to TW, and then we were like, well, shit, we got a lot of things to fix. And this was like towards, I think, the late 2013, and this is where we were like, all right, we need to like get our shit together and sort out a plan and really get our identity and everything sorted out. And then we started working on things, and then it came down to a few things that happened that really changed the game for us. I Sheldon, or Sheldon Cooper or something like that, he came in, and I commissioned him to build our next base. And the base he made was the original capital, and I coined the name Selvestia and put slapped that bad boy of a name onto the capital. And ever since then, that capital from late 2013 has always been with us. And at the same time, I also had a person named Gray Creed, who was a friend of mine from John's Cobras, and we became good friends with each other. He actually made the trench coat uniforms that you all know and love for free for us, and that really saved our skins because we had some pretty shitty uniforms before that. So when those came in, we were all like, "Holy fuck, these are good!" So we had good uniforms. We had a really nice capital base that we actually had pride and joy in, patrolled it every single day, 24/7. And then the training centers. I believe Celsium came in. Yeah, Celsium. That was built by Flursium. That one was a big one that we had. That was made for us, I think, late 2013. And then the logo for TW changed, obviously, because 2014. I think we had like at least 4 or 5 different logos in 2014. So yeah, finishing 2013 somewhat strong, even though we lost our entire member base. And then 2014 came in. 2014. Do I have a lot to say about this? Yes, almost every weekend I ran like 1 million tickets and ads, which at the time was like I think 90 to 110,000 in Robux, and I was making mad bank from the group because of all the game passes we had on our forts, and also all the sales from the uniforms and other places I had. So we were making mad bank. So I was just advertising every weekend, 1 million tickets and ads, and we would just be rated every single day, and it was crazy because I even had like daily patrol videos on my channel that I was uploading just to showcase that, hey, we're here, rate us. And yeah, I kind of gained a lot of popularity because it was kind of like the equivalent of like JC's Fort Fang that everybody rated all the time. Then it became TW's original capital, or Selvestian capital as you want to call it, because at the time it wasn't called the original capital, it was just called the capital of Selvestia. And that was, oh boy, that was a popular base to raid. And it had the speed coils, it had the healing drinks, and the infamous katana. Oh man, boys, did that make a lot of money though. The original base was under my profile, and it gained like I think 30 plus thousand visits and like a bajillion sales on game passes. And oh my god, I still remember it had so many dislikes to likes because people were so pissed off about the speed coils. And I was just like, ah, fuck it, you gave me your money. We were just putting it back into the ads. I didn't give a shit. It was giving us popularity and like infamy kind of, because on the clans and guilds forum, people were just like shit talking us because like we were just like, oh yeah, fucking game passes. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, we'll take them down for war, just war us, but we're not gonna take them down during regular raids, you know, because it was making us mad bank. I mean, if you're making mad bank, you wouldn't really give a shit at the time because it didn't matter. Anyways, oh man, I remember all of that. And all the wars in 2014. Oh man, that was the same year where we fought Sky Clan and took the #1 spot from them as well. And then that was also the same year we fought a lot of groups like TCI and oh my god, TCI, yeah. I think ESS was another one. I don't think ESS actually. I think that was a 2015 or 2016. But yeah, I think SCR was the biggest one out of that year, obviously. And the rest of our wars, you could just look at the war records. I'm not going to talk about the wars, but I just want to say 2014 was the best year, and I think our highest rally count was like at least 200, some 223 people. Yeah, I think so. That was a lot of people. I think that was like one of the highest rally counts I've seen any group can do, besides like John's Cobras, which was also another group that was able to do like 200 plus, and I think VAC was also able to do like 200 plus. Then I think the Rabine was able to do 150 plus, but that was like last year, not 2014. I'm talking about 2014. And I think Tra was able to do 150 in 2014. I don't know. There's a lot of groups that were able to do like big numbers. So it wasn't like super duper surprising at that time because that's when clans were really like popping off. But there was some interesting things that happened after 2014. You know, with the 2014 being our best year, I mean, oh, people are gonna be like, well, what happened? Well, 2015 was like a slow year. It wasn't bad. It was just a good year, but it was slower, like way slower than 2014. And I think that was the same year Uada's Forest was made, actually. And that was a big one because we were trying to be so unique with the base, and it just ended up killing itself as an idea because Uada's Forest was just like not talking about. Uada's Forest like did like RPG stuff, and it was like yeah, it had an RPG system, and at one point had an health HP statue that you guys see at Legacy with those practice PR ones. Yeah, it used to have an HP statue, and boy did I regret that because it was the easiest shit that you could win at. So no way that I after a few raids that I ran with it, I was like, no, no, this is way too fucking hard to defend. And the only times you can actually win with it is if you actually overwhelm and numbers against Raiders. If it's even numbers or if you're outnumbered by a few, no, you lose. You lose. An HP statue is a horrible idea because it's so easy to dominate and destroy. But 2015, not a lot of really memorable things happened besides uh, like Uada's Forest. So it's like let me see. No, I'm pretty sure there was some memorable things, but nothing huge. 2015, 2016, they're kind of the same thing. I think 2016 was when Ontario actually debuted. That was when I was messing around with Smooth Terrain for the first time, and Ontario debuted. And there's a lot of things that people were wondering with Ontario. I was like, what the fuck happened to it? Well, a lot of things. But the biggest one was it wasn't making enough of the profit back as much as I spent into it. And also because I fucked up with an update where I made it so people no longer had to purchase the Sabers with Robux. They could also purchase it with credits, and that no longer brought any revenue, and it killed the game. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to dump more revenue into it, and because like, why would I do that? So I just, which was kind of dumb at the same time, but also not because it's like the game had really bad monetization. The only monetization it had was some from the Sabers at the time, really, and I guess credits too, but mostly Sabers. So it was a pretty bad setup in terms of monetization, so I didn't do that good. But it had like 200 people playing it like daily for like a good week. It was good. It was a good game. And if I'm planning to at least remake it, hopefully 2020, but we'll see how that goes cuz you know how I get with my promises. There's so many things I have to keep and do, and it's all stupidly hard to do it by yourself. So, and I'll get to all of that later cuz boy, do I have a lot to talk about for 2019. 2017 and 2018, I think. They were all right years. 2017 was when TDW really started slowing down more. It was after Ontario's like failure essentially, so we started slowing down and not doing as much. And I mean, we were it was like an okay year. It wasn't absolute dog shit like 2018 and 2019 were, but it was an okay year. Nothing much really happened besides I think it was the VE War, Veloxic Empire. We were still popping off. We still had crazy activities, crazy skill. With the Veloxic Empire War, it was SCR and Team Domino helping Veloxic Empire, and it was just TW fighting all three of these clans, and essentially we beat all three of them, technically speaking, because they did help them in every single defense, pouring in all of their big numbers and having huge servers, and we just dominated all of them. And it was essentially a 3v1, but I'm not gonna claim it as a 3v1 because it was TW versus VE in the end. But that big war was a fun one. Uh, but other than that, 2018 was a bit of a slow year, And 2017, just not. I don't remember much from it. I don't have a lot to say about 2017, 16, and 15 besides the big memorable moments. Everything else that would take way too long to talk about. I just want to talk about some of the big moments that I just remember easily that I can talk about and explain. So 2018. Now we can talk about 2019. Now we can talk about 2019. What went wrong? Well, a lot of things. And I don't know if I can say most of it right now, though, because it's very sensitive information, at least to me, that I'd want to save it for February. But I'll try my best to mention at least some of the things that really went wrong. And I'll be honest, a lot of it was on me because, yeah, I get it. A lot of people explained to me was like, oh, at one point, TW was suffering super low activity, and then everybody's blaming each other, and the HRs were blaming each other, fighting each other. Then at some point, it went from them to me, and then they started blaming me and arguing with me, and I'm just like, and I just kept telling them, oh, just wait, just wait, the game, just wait, it's gonna be great, and obviously it's been a while. It's been a while. And still, the game is not out, but don't worry about that. I haven't given up on that project because I've started on the second team. As some of you know, I started on two projects now, formed the second team, and we're already starting on the next game. I believe tomorrow, uh, or the 2nd of January, whichever one when they're done from their hangover, because both of them are drunk on my second team right now. And all right, well, going back to what went wrong with TW. I went wrong. I went wrong. I didn't. I paused a lot of things for the group because I needed to focus on myself. I needed to focus on what I enjoyed in life and my passions and the things that I wanted to do moving forward. And TW, of course, it's a passion and a hobby, but it's not going to put money in my pockets, for example, or put food on the table, or it's not going to be a forever thing, just leading raids all the time and trainings. No, that's not it. That's not going to be a forever thing. But what will be a forever thing is the Self-Esteem brand moving forward. Because I have a lot of things planned for 2020 that I want to change the game forever. For not only myself and for a lot of you, and moving forward onto more platforms. As a lot of you may know that I wanted to give a lot of other things a try. But moving back into the TW topic, I wasn't as transparent as I should have been. And I wanted to apologize about that. Because, yes, I wasn't super transparent about what was going on. All I said was, oh, just wait. I have all these amazing plans, and the game's going to do so well. And, yeah, almost 2020, and not much has changed. And I'll take full blame for that. Yeah. But what I won't take full blame for is everybody throwing all their problems onto me and essentially harassing me at some point. And I told this to a lot of people, and most recently was Wolf that I told that at one point I said TW died in 2019, and he was just completely hurt about it, and was just like, "Why would you say that?" And I'm just like, "Well, because the TW I knew died, and what took place was a toxic version of it, and this toxic version was so bad that it almost nearly made me want to shut down the group for the year and just focus on me and focus on my future, my passion, and just open the group up whenever I want to. So probably 2020, for example. It got that bad from all of the hate, all the harassment, all of the just the shit that I took from a lot of you, and it really hurt. It really did. Because at one point I saw this group as a family, and then it turned against me, and it just didn't feel right. And at some points I would just be avoiding you guys, which really sucked because I'd never had to do that. I never had to call TW toxic until this year, which is why this year is like way up there with 2013, probably even with 2013 to be honest, because I regret a lot of things not with this group in 2019 that I just don't know how to process yet. Like still a lot of 2019 I just can't process actually happened. I lost a lot of good friends along the way. And a lot of which I do miss, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad some of them at least came back before the end, but there's a lot of people that I kind of wish just saw it from my view, from my perspective. Everybody was just so fixated on hating me that it was just so difficult for me to do anything with you guys. It was so difficult for me to explain everything. And I think the biggest moment was the document I had to make on ISO, because that was like the breaking point for like people really starting to choose sides. You know, everything leading up to that moment, people like arguing with each other and blaming me and harassing me in DMs and fucking blaming me for everything, and it was just a mess. And then with the whole argument with ISO in general, and then that blew up and people chose sides, and then I was like, well, now I don't have a choice. Now I actually have to come out and explain some things that happened. And I did. I explained a good chunk. And I really went in depth on a lot of things, but I didn't cover everything. I didn't cover any of the darkest secrets that happened in 2019 because, in all honesty, this was one of the worst years of my life. And I'll go into that probably February because I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it right now. I don't know. It's very difficult to talk about it because it's just not been a good year. It really hasn't. Like, just, and you guys know, a lot of you do know. A lot of you do know what has gone on. And there's a lot more that I actually haven't told some of you that I will mention in February. But right now, all I can say is this was one of the worst years for me ever. It probably is hands down the worst year ever. And I also have an album of like hundreds of screenshots and videos between me and my parents of the amount of times they've, you know, fought with me and basically abused me verbally and just made me feel like absolute shit, and it was just not healthy for me. And it really fucked me up this year. And there was a lot of other things that happened that I just couldn't stand. And there's so many other things that I wanted to talk about, but I'll save that for February. Just know that 2019 wasn't all hunky-dory, and especially wasn't for me. That's why I just had so much trouble trying to focus on the group, because I had so many things to focus on in real life, like especially with the games, like the plans I have for the future to move forward. Like in 2020, I want to plan on getting my own place and starting my own like future, starting with, for example, for working on more games and YouTube and a lot of other things. And with YouTube, I explained to a lot of people. Obviously, people think I'm crazy for it, but it makes the most sense because for the past 8 years almost, I've been a person who cared about people and really loved to be there for people and help them. I just loved being there for people and helping them and teaching them and advising them and just being able to interact with people. And I think what really solidified it for me was when I met Sword and Corny Corn and their cousin in Texas, and we had the best, probably one of the best days in a long time that I've ever had, and I'll never forget it. Never. It was a blessed day. Even if me and Sword had our differences at some points, you know, he's still a good friend of mine, and I wouldn't have it any other way. With him, with Hyso, with Elder, they're all still good friends. All the people that I've beefed with, I don't hate them. In fact, I miss a lot of them. I miss a lot of TDW. But it sucked because it was me who essentially drew a lot of them away. Because I wasn't transparent enough. I wasn't explaining everything. I didn't explain everything. And I tried to the best I could, but at the same time I couldn't, because the things I would be saying, it would be too much to expose at the time. Yeah, what's up? I know, I know. Just give me like 10 more minutes. Just give me 10 more minutes. I'm almost done.
I like to smash.
Oh my god.
Hey.
I'm kind of in an emotional part. Okay, just give me 10 minutes. I'm good.
Fucking gay.
Oh my god.
Queer or sexual, you got feelings and shit. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
For having a fucking feelings.
I'm right now talking about the shittiest parts of 2019. So it's like, you know, I owed a lot of explanations to a lot of people about why a lot of friendships dissipated over the group, and I was just explaining it over the video because there's a lot of good friends I've lost in 2019, and a lot of it was because of me because I wasn't transparent enough with a lot of things that were going on,
Well,
and the stuff that I told you, about like school and parents that I haven't told a lot of them yet. I don't want to tell them until February because that's the biggest month for me in 2020. So
well,
that's kind of what I was discussing right now after I discussed like a good stuff about the decade of
well.
the group.
If you really think you're friends and them, you learn from those mistakes. You're good. And if they're
I mean,
really,
yeah, I have learned.
if they really are your friends, they'll look past that.
Well, some of them. Well, I mean, they are my friends because they we I. Here's the thing. It's me who fucked up.
But no, the thing is, now that you learn from that, you can go on that. If they're your friends, they'll take you back in open arms. You know me. If you fuck up, as long as you come back, I'm forgiven. But that's some people.
I mean, some people obviously they fucked up too, but I mean, like I have to own up to my part of it. And for my part of it, the reason why I'm blaming myself for a lot of things is because I wasn't transparent enough with why I wasn't there for the group a lot because the group was super inactive this year and wasn't doing so well. It's because I was so focused on the game. You know how focused I was on that game. It was constantly on my mind. And I'm just now recently started on a second team. We're working on a second game now and we're starting tomorrow. So it's like I'm working on so many things, running so many projects, and it's like I owe an apology for at least not being transparent enough with the group as to why I wasn't able to focus and why, shit went south. But what I didn't deserve was being harassed and hated and everybody blaming on me, making me feel like absolute dog shit for an entire year. So it's like I at least they can own up to that and I can own up to what I did. And what I did was not be transparent. That's what I was talking about right now with them. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, the rest of it I wanted to talk about in February, but that's a little bit while after because like in February, the reason why I want to talk about February is because that's our 8th birthday month, and I have a lot of plans for that, and hopefully by then, Cosmic and the other game that I officially started on will be out because the other game is actually way easier, and some of you will probably know what it is within the next few days of me telling it, but I won't mention too much about it right now because it's already been a 40 plus long minute video, and I don't want to keep it going for another 10 minutes because I know my buddy Aaron is getting impatient. But from then, all I want to say is to the people that
You can still keep going, but I'm just 10 minutes.
I'm
Keep
not
talking. You're guestimizing. God damn. God damn.
But yeah, for the people that I've beefed with, if you're willing to set aside the shit that we had in 2019 and move forward and work together in 2020 and just be friends again, then I'm willing to do that too, because I fucked up with not being transparent enough, and I tried my best to be. But there's a lot of things that I couldn't mention, and still things that I can't mention because it's just too sensitive to talk about until February. I promise you it'll be brought up in February, and then everything will be cleared up. Everything. And I told some of it already to Elder, and me and Elder already squashed all of that beef already because he just understood everything that happened, and he was like, "Oh, I get it. I see why shit happened the way it did with the group." So I hope I can do the same with the rest of you when that month comes. And it's going to be an unforgettable month. And it's going to be an unforgettable year. And I just hope we can forget about 2019 because I sure as hell am ready to forget about it. So with that being said, I'll probably either do another video tomorrow talking about the rest of the things I want to talk about. But right now, I think I spoke what I needed to speak about the group. And in terms of plans, boy, do I have a lot. Just wait. I already have the Heart of Gold logo being in production, and it's gonna be representing the Heart of Gold motto. And newsflash, it's probably gonna be a heart, and it's gonna be a nice one. So we'll see how that one turns out to be. It's gonna be the first of its kind for the group. And as for the Heart of Gold era, that's going to be pushed forward with the Golden Phoenix and the White Raven, and we'll see how that all turns out in February. And with the announcement of the war in February and everything else we're going to do, and the games and the second project and Ontario and everything coming back, everything is all coming together, and I hope that it works out. And I'm sorry I couldn't discuss all the super sensitive stuff that you guys really wanted to hear, but that would probably make this video another 20, 30 plus minutes long, because oh boy, is there fucking a lot. But yeah, I'm saving that for February, because I think that would be the best time to release it, both for me, for you guys, and also because it's our birthday month. And also it gives me enough time to really set myself straight and onto a path I can follow in 2020. That is best for me, for my future, and for the group. So with that being said, I think everything else I'll probably discuss in a paragraph or two, or a video tomorrow again that I haven't discussed now. But that being said, enjoy the video that I'm putting up out now. And to all the people that are mad with me, I'm sorry TDW didn't turn out the way it did this year. But you know what? We're almost 8 years old as of the next 2 months in February. We're going to be 8. Bro, we're almost there at the teens. Just got to be 5 more years. We'll be more patient, and then we'll be in the teens. We'll be a teenager. I mean, we're already moody bitches, but you know what? We won't go there. But yeah, with that being said, to wrap it all up, I'm sorry to everybody that I let down this year. It was a lot of it was my fault, and I own up to it because, like I said, I wasn't transparent. And I mean, there's still people out there who still need to apologize to me for some things they did, but I'm owning up to what I did. And yeah, I know I still owe the Halloween money as well to the people that got it. Don't worry, that's going to come out probably next year, maybe, I don't know. 2039, yeah, we'll do 2039. That's when it will finally come out. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering what the logo is in the background because it looks fresher, that's just a redesign that the 9RR Abyss did of it. It actually looks quite nice. I figured it would fit the background of this video quite well. So, yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about for now. Well, actually not everything, but you know what I meant. I wanted to wrap it up with that. And, yeah, I'll probably discuss everything else in the video tomorrow or February. But for now, I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. I know mine isn't until another hour and 23 minutes. So, that should be fun.
I don't know. By the time he fucking finishes this video, we'll be into the new year.
No, I'm almost done.
Damn.
Hey, it's a lot of things I have to talk
God
about.
Damn. You have feelings and shit.
It's the thing that I really needed to put out. Okay.
Damn.
But yeah, you guys will forever be my family, and as family, we will have our fights, but we will reconcile. We will work together to resolve those fights, and I love you all to death. I really do. And yeah, that's all I can say now. So with that being said, remember to stay true to your heart of gold, and be true to Sylvester, forever and always.
Yeah, I was about to say, you better like him, because I don't fucking like him. Dickhead. God.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year. What the
I love you all. Farewell and peace.